and some other things here. So we've got Hunter Ash of the Fells, 2 Craterhoof Behemoths, 4 Thragtusk, 2 Centaur Healers, 4 Angel Serenities, along with your typical reanimation package of Rites, Mulch, Faithless Looting, Grizzly Salvage, and then he's found room for 3 Lingering Souls, 2 Dreadbores, and a Sever the Bloodline, along to go with his mana base. No spicy lands except for the 1 Cavernous Souls to be able to make something uncounterable. So there's JR's deck.
On the other side of here, we have Kevin Wallner with Bant. He is splashing Huntmaster of the Fells in his sideboard off of a couple of Steam Vents, some red duels. He is on the full Thragtusk Centaur Healer Restoration type of plan. Blues in the deck for Azorius Charm, Detention Sphere, Swings' Revelation, Supreme Verdict. So pretty similar to Joe Lissette's deck that we saw earlier today. What do you think the Huntmaster of the Fells are in the sideboard for?
I'm not really sure. I mean, obviously, I think it's a bit of a hedge against the aggressive decks, but I mean, I would think that he's pretty good against the aggressive decks. So, I mean, maybe this is more of like a mid-range man, maybe against Jund, just to have like a solid card against them. I'm not entirely sure. It'll be interesting to see if he uses them here, for example. I don't think they're great here, but yeah, it's kind of hard to predict where he would be boarding those in.
So I think we're slight hold here while we make sure that everything's up and running.
But I mean, this Reanimator deck is the kind of deck that has picked up quite a bit across this format. You know, just trying to cheat big creatures into play. Angel Serenity also can set up Lingering Souls to be able to have a huge hit with Craterhoof Behemoth. That's basically what this deck does. As we see a Sun Petal Grove and a Blood Crypt. You gotta love that mana.
Yeah, it's a good start.
You gotta love that mana. That's what we're going to see.
Mulching.
That's an old Mulch.
Yep.
Looks like a Grizzly Salvage, but it's not. Or sorry, it looks like a Grizzly Fate, but it's not.
Okay, so we got an Unburial Rites in our graveyard.
Along with a Faithless Looting and a Dreadboard going in there as well. So if John does want to flashback Faithless Looting, he does have the 3rd land to do it now.
The Bant deck feels to me like it's fairly far behind in this matchup.
I'm inclined to think so, but again, like, it's strange because, like, as a Bant player, you know that this deck exists, and exists in such a big way that, you know, are you really going to come to a tournament with Bant knowing that you have to you're going to probably play against and have to beat the 4-killer Reanimator deck once or twice across the tournament?
Well, I guess we'll see. There's a Lingering Souls.
So Spirit Tokens incoming from Mr. Wade.
It's just, it doesn't feel like it seems so hard for the Bant deck to get any traction in the game. It's also not very good at breaking up the powerful stuff that the Reanimator deck is doing. Like, what are we going to see here? Like a Centaur Healer? Is that our big, that's like our, is that our big finish?
Can't really tell what he's going to set up here.
He might have a Detention Sphere in his hand he's thinking about. Then it just passes it back. Souls in for 2. And the Reanimator deck is kind of sweet because actually isn't even all in on just reanimating. I mean, you can play like kind of a normal control game.
Yeah.
And then just have, you know, Burial Rites as a backup plan.
Just kind of grind them out that way.
Yep.
Which is like a pretty nice option to have with this deck. As you see, like, I mean, just as you said, like, the beatdowns are starting to happen here with Lingering Souls. He could flashback Lingering Souls if he wants to and just continue the beatdowns that way. As we actually are going to see a flashback.
And I assume this will induce a Detention Sphere?
Yeah, I mean, we could see Sphere if he has one. The kind of interesting thing is that this kind of pressure is the sort of thing that forces a Supreme Verdict, basically.
Yep.
Now we're going to see a Faithless Looting here.
See another Souls, and he's got Thragtusk in his hand. I don't think he's got anything tremendous to reanimate just yet, but
I think he's got a decent amount of lands over there as well. There's a Grizzly Salvage. You see a Rootbound Crag. Thragtusk going bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Wallner draws, 4th land, and
so he's moving something for us. Okay, that does a nice job of taking care of.
Yeah, a pretty good answer. Jace, Architect of Thoughts. I assume we're going to +1 to shrink the Lingering Souls tokens down to 0 power.
It's funny to me just how good the +1 ability on that is. It doesn't seem like very powerful. You know, just giving all the guys -1/-1. Cumberstone is basically that effect, but it is much better than it looks as we see Thragtusk here from John.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a card that was designed in some part to fight against Lingering Souls. I mean, that was definitely a card on R&D's radar. Got banned in block.
Yeah.
I imagine part of that is just to have another good answer to Lingering Souls in the format.
So you see a 5th land here from Kevin. This is normally Thragtusk territory for this kind of deck. You can also use the second ability on Jace to do a mini Factor Fiction.
Yep.
And we do know that he has an Azorius Charm in his hand along with a couple of lands, so he's got some options here. So we'll see what kind of line of play he decides to take.
All right, we're gonna +1. His hand looks like there's no action to it. It's like just all reactive cards. Some charms and some lands.
It doesn't really look like he has too much going on, yeah.
Yeah.
So John's going to go ahead and get in here. Thragtusk going to attack Jace. We're going to see Azorius Charm, which is...
Puts it on top.
Puts it on top, and it gives me a 3/3 beast. As long as John does remember the mandatory trigger here. Probably one of the spotters there.
Waiting on a token.
One of the more poor Azorius Charms. Kind of a sad Azorius Charm there.
Yeah, this is a tough thing to try. It's really tough to try to slog this way against Thragtusk. He's got to get something on the board of his own. There's a Restoration Angel.
We see a red land. We see a Rootbound Crag.
And that's to facilitate again Master of the Fells and Ancient Grudge on the sideboard.
Okay. Now it looks like we're going to see looks like a Supreme Verdict. The verdict is in.
Okay.
And now we're going to see mini Factor Fiction.
Now that I'm actually not a huge fan of that, that sequencing, because if he leads with the Jace first, it could cause Wade to overvalue Supreme Verdict because it represents that he's searching for it. So if you're committed to Supreme Verdicting anyway, regardless of the information, then you might as well just Jace first because it's just less information for Wade to work with.
I definitely agree with that.
But a lot of these kids, they haven't fought that much, so they might not know all the little tricks.
So we're going to see this is the Thragtusk that he redrew.
Yeah, that was the Azorius Charmed.
And John going up to 31 life now. Yeah, what's one of the things that I realized is the Seance deck that I'm testing has Sphinx of Uthun in it. When it comes into play, it does Factor Fiction. And yeah, Factor Fiction is a card that was prevalent in Standard, almost 10 years ago?
Longer than that.
Yeah.
Longer than that, yeah.
And so, for me, it's just like, I've been playing against Factor Fiction for years. What's the big deal? But a lot of people don't have a lot of experience now actually splitting that card and actually knowing how good of a card it is.
Yep.
It was a real skill to be able to break those up.
Yes.
So it looks like we're going to see a Detention Sphere take care of Thragtusk.
Do we have another Detention Sphere to follow up on that Centaur?
We do know that he does have Supreme Verdict here. It's kind of interesting if, is it worth Supreme Verdict in away these two beast tokens? Looks like Kevin says yes. Okay. So Kevin has a Jace on 2. He has a Restoration Angel in his hand. It looks like he has at least one land, potentially 2 over there. As we see, John has another Thragtusk in his hand and an Angel of Serenity.
So yeah, now I guess he's weighing whether or not he just wants to impact the board now, or if he's trying to set up flashbacking Faithless Looting to get the Angel online. It seems like you would just want to be a little more immediate here against the opposing Planeswalker.
Okay. Get a threat on the board.
Yeah, you don't want Jace to just kind of grind you out.
So So you see Kevin draws a Thragtusk of his own. He's going to name something with Cavernous Souls. We'll get confirmation on what that is in just a moment. The one thing that you'll notice on Kevin is he does have 8 lands in play. He doesn't have the magical 9 to be able to play Thragtusk plus Restoration Angel on the same turn.
Yep.
And Cavernous Souls was named on Angel for you guys at home.
All right, so we're gonna get rid of our Jace here. Soon we'll split this Angel of Serenity Centaur here. Okay, so he's gonna get an Angel.
Quick split.
Yeah.
Quick split. So now John's going to have to be able to overcome an Angel Serenity in addition to the other cards that we know about that Kevin has, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a Thragtusk here. And this is the kind of grindy nature that you had spoken about a little bit in these mid-range mirrors, just kind of haymakers back and forth, Angel Serenities, and all the mana to cast everything on both sides.
I'm a little surprised that Wallner wasn't willing to just play his own Thragtusk and plus his Jace.
Okay.
Because it's Thragtusk. It's hard for something to go disastrously wrong where you just lose your Jace for free.
Sure.
Ooh.
4 for 4.
Little tidings.
Ding,
Sure.
ding, 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 ding. And it looks like we have 2 Overgrown Tombs, a Clifftop Retreat, and a Blood Crypt, just showing the kind of mana base you can have in this format.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's only going to get more like this with the next set.
Yeah.
As you have all the dual lands interlock.
For some reason, I just remember playing in previous Ravnica, and I don't remember. Maybe the mana was this good in the previous Ravnica standard format.
Well, there was a little Eye of Nowhere Stone Rain deck that sort of prevented you from getting too greedy with what you were going to try to do with your mana.
Everybody's friend.
Yeah. Stone Rain you again. Demolish you. Actual demolish. Full rubbins. Yeah. But certainly, did you play in the Team Constructed Pro Tour?
Yeah, you know I did.
Certainly, there were some decks in there that was just like kind of all over the place.
Yeah. What are we gonna see here from John?
Yeah. And now John just has to think about, I think he wants to play out his white land so he can just hard cast his Angel, basically.
Yeah.
He's also weighing, he has Faithless Looting in his graveyard, so that's always adding another decision tree to his turns.
Yeah, and then there's the Unburial Rites hiding down there too. So he has a lot of different things he can do, and we've even forgotten about the Flashback and Lingering Souls. But the other thing is he has to figure out in such a way how to go about kind of minimizing the damage from Angel of Serenity.
Yeah.
Which is like pretty hard to do.
And so, yeah, this is sort of what I was talking about before. I think that Wallner could have held off on losing his Jace at least one more turn, because the likelihood that Wade is able to just kill his Thragtusk and his token and attack with his Thragtusk just doesn't strike me as it's just not that high,
Yeah.
So now in theory, this turn he could be, I guess maybe he wouldn't have the Angel, but he also has Restoration Angel in hand. Maybe that's the reason he didn't want to. He wanted to just cast his Thragtusk and not have to block because he has Angel of Serenity in hand and wants to just be able. Restoration Angel in hand, so he just doesn't want to lose his Thragtusk in combat. But
so we see Thragtusk come across, and no spell there from Kevin. So Huntmaster of the Fells is going to flip. It's going to deal 2 to Thragtusk, and it's going to go 2 upstairs to Kevin, knocking him down to, I believe, 21. And so now, if you're John, it's pretty obvious Restoration Angel here.
it seems likely.
The question is, does he care? And it doesn't look like he seems to very much.
Yeah, I mean, we're just playing into a big Angel of Serenity here.
Yep. It's kind of interesting. The Angel Serenity Wars they're weird.
Yeah, I believe it.
They're really weird. It's something I haven't even really learned how to do yet in my limited amount of standard testing I got to do. Just trying to combat theirs with your own, and what do I target in graveyards? Do I take care of Thragtusk because like Angel v Angel cards are going back to hand? It's interesting.
It's messy.
It really is. So you see some creatures get traded off in combat here. John looking at a hand of 3 lands, Grizzly Salvage and Angel Serenity. We're going to see Angel Serenity. And he does have the 3 white necessary to cast that. I was just making sure. Through 2 Sun Petal Groves and a Clifftop Retreat.
So now we have 3 Theritusks at the ready.
What's interesting is that Kevin had Restoration Angel his Thragtusk. And he does not have a Beast token in play from his Thragtusk. What looked like, I mean, it's not on the table.
No,
anymore.
I think it blocked.
Well, yeah, when Thragtusk dies, he should get a Beast token.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So it looks like he may have missed the
Yeah,
mandatory trigger on that.
yeah.
Because he had flickered it, he'd have a Thragtusk Angel and a Beast token. We're going to see an Angel Serenity of Kevin's own. So it looks like he may have missed a mandatory trigger there. So Angel Serenity take out this. It's also going to take in Thragtusk. It's going to take out the Beast. So now the Angel War has begun.
Yep. This is not going to be fast.
You see Angel Serenity on the screen. For those of you guys that don't know what it does at home, it does a lot.
Yeah. I think we just drew another one.
Yeah, it looks to be the case.
So we probably just start by just redeploying our Theritusks.
Yeah, I think, start redeploying, start gaining some life. If John were to Angel here, he would Angel the other Angel Serenity that's in play, the Restoration Angel, and maybe the Huntmaster of Fells in his graveyard. And that would get Kevin back his Thraktusk, but John would get back his Angel Serenity to his hand, which would leave another Angel in the holster to start the Angel loop, basically. So,
it's not going to be fast.
Yeah, it gets complicated.
Yeah.
It gets complicated. It doesn't help that these Thraktusk gain 5 life every turn as well.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a long drawn out affair here.
And it's just so hard to attack with all these Theritusks. I mean, it's the life gain definitely just de-incentivizes it infinite. Ugh.
We see Restoration Angel coming across. Because Angel Serenity wins in a fight against Thragtusk, we see a Grizzly Salvage here at the instant. We see the other Cavern of Souls put in play by Kevin is on Beast. Let's see what we hit. Ugh.
Critter Hoof Behemoth.
Ugh.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's pretty big, I guess.
Whoa.
Another Unburial Rites, I believe, got flipped there as well.
Yeah. So now, if John wants to find a way to put Crater Hoof Behemoth into his graveyard, he has Faithless Looting so he can flash back. So we see another Angel Serenity. This is so awesome.
This is not gonna be fast.
So now John can attempt to set up a huge Crater Hoof Behemoth turn. I mean, heck, he could just hardcast Crater Hoof Behemoth this turn and trounce on in.
Yep. I still feel like the safest route is just keep Thragtusking. Yeah.
Just keep his life high.
Right.
Just put more threats on the board. Because I definitely agree with you. He'll basically get to a point where he has a couple Thragtusk in play, and then he can just say, all right, attack with my Thragtusk. And then when one dies, it's just get a 3/3 token. It can keep attacking.
Right, and you also just don't want to ever get yourself in the position where like Supreme Verdict just matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have so many awesome attrition elements here. You just want to be careful about exposing yourself too heavily to that card.
As we see a Flashback Faithless Looting here from John, he's going to discard an Angel Serenity and an Overgrown Tomb. So Angel being in the graveyard is going to give him access to not having to pay 7 mana, paying 4 instead, with a Flashback on Burial Rites to get that effect now, along with the other one that he does have in his hand. Tap Blood Crypt, and that's it for John. If you're Kevin, as he's going to... Ooh, that's a Terminus.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Terminus right now?
not great. I don't know. Doesn't seem worth casting because your Angel still has him on D or whatever. I don't think you can cash it in here now, knowing the full extent of Wade's hand.
Sure.
I mean, trying to win this grind fest is just fraught with peril.
Yeah, it just seems like it favors John so much, especially in game one where I'm assuming Kevin doesn't have any sort of like graveyard hate. I don't think there's any rest in peace in his main deck, anything like that.
Or in his sideboard.
Yeah, there's no ground seals. We see the hoof.
Big hooves.
King, welcome to Sir Hoofington Manor.
Yeah.
Crater Hoof Behemoth. For those of you guys who haven't seen it, is normally a 1 or 2 of in these kind of lists. John has 2 in his deck. It makes the boys have some trample, get a little bit bigger, make them win in combat against this Angel here. So Hoof is basically going to force a block for Kevin. And I mean, it's going to sit in place at 5/5 too. So
yeah. Whatever, it's fine. It's totally fine right here. Most 8-mana creatures will be good in this spot, and this is one of those good 8-mana creatures.
And that attack there is going to knock Kevin down to 8. Kevin does get a Thragtusk back, and we're going to see another Faithless Looting here.
This is sort of, I'm no expert on this matchup, but this is sort of what I'm talking about. It's like, this feels horrible for the Bant deck.
Yeah.
It's like you can't win quickly, and you certainly can't win late.
Yeah. Yep. What really favors you, and that's, you have, as you said, this is the kind of deck that goes over the top of the Bant deck.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going over the top in every sense of the word.
Oh, Centaur Healer. That's a pretty good deal, I guess.
3/3? 3 life?
Yeah, for 3 mana?
Yeah.
Wow,
They'll print anything.
They don't print them like they used to. All right. Terminus.
We see a Terminus here. We're going to see some Beast tokens enter play. I think we're going to get 2 here from both Thragtusk, and then a Thragtusk of Kevin's own, bring him up to 13. But again, this is...
Wade's hand is comically loaded.
Yeah, because Wade's hand also includes his graveyard. So in theory, he has, 13 cards in his hand.
And they're all 8-mana creatures. Yeah. Or kill spells.
So here comes the Beast tokens. Hey, now's as good a time as any. How about an Angel of Serenity?
All right. It'll play.
Angel of Serenity is going to knock that out of here, and John's going to go, yeah, I'll take some creatures in my graveyard back too. Again, the angel loop, as it were, and a Huntmaster of the Fells for good measure.
Okay. Looks fine.
And we're going to see a flashback Lingering Souls as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's still there, sure.
So John is representing Lethal this turn, but Kevin has a Centaur Healer to save him, in theory.
Yeah, a theoretical Centaur Healer.
Yeah. So it looks like shortly here we're going to be going to a game 2. Maybe not shortly, but this is one of the this is some of the appeal to this 4-color Reanimator deck. When unmolested, when not playing against Deathrite Shaman, Rest in Peace, Ground Seal, as we see a Supreme Verdict here. Kill some creatures, but getting some cards back for John.
For those of you tuning in at home, Cavern of Souls was named on Centaur.
Yes.
Boom, there he is.
This is some of the appeal of this deck, because when it goes unmolested, I think this is the most powerful deck in the format when nothing is fighting it.
I mean, you could argue that some epic experiment deck could go over the top of even this stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, within the range of like conventional decks, this is the most powerful thing.
Maybe Omniscience, if that's a thing. And John's going to probably start off with old Thragtusk.
Yep.
I feel like that's like the 8th Thragtusk we've seen this particular game.
John is at 40, and he's gotten attacked a few times, so yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah.
Is it time to Unburial Rites our Angel?
Could be. He does have one in his hand as well, but he just can't play it this turn. So we just see a Huntmaster. We could see a Dreadbore too right now.
I would not Dreadbore that thing. No chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Kevin draws a card. How do we do, Kevin? think it's a land.
I don't know. Can it beat 7 straight angels for these?
Yeah. You see Huntmaster's going to flip here. 2 to Kevin, 2 to Centaur Healer. 5, 9, 10, 11. So it's a lethal attack if he Dreadbores. If he Dreadbores this guy, look, I believe this is a lethal attack here. We are going to see a Dreadbore and Centaur Healer. And an attack for 11 damage. Is it a Sphinx's Revelation? It is.
Okay. Well, that's for a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So he has 12 mana, so it looks like gonna be a draw 9. Maybe a draw 8.
He has 2 copies of that card in his deck.
So Kevin draws a bunch of cards and gains a bunch of life. So he's trying to stay in this.
Yeah, now Wade's actually got to pump the brakes a little bit and think about, you know, there's a good chance he gets Wrath next turn. Like, you know, Wallner actually has a little bit of room now to play with.
Yeah, there's definitely some sequencing that's going to have to take place now. He can't get all willy-nilly just casting some stuff and doing some things. And this is part of the reason, for you guys wondering at home, why Crater of Behemoth's in the deck. It's a way to just, you know, obviously grinding him out like this is all great. You know, in theory he has inevitability, but Crater of Behemoth is the card that just, all right, this game's over.
Yep.
And it's nice to have access to that type of card. So we see Angel Serenity remove 2 angels and a Huntmaster.
It's a little weird because I don't understand why. Like, what spot do you get in where it's like this won't be the game that I otherwise wasn't going to win? I guess it's just another big reanimation target. So
yeah.
Like, is Greater Hoof Behemoth better than having just, you know, the Red White Angel?
Gisela?
Yeah.
It might be a little bit better. I think Greater Hoof's a little bit better just because of Lingering Souls.
Sure. Okay.
Makes it a
yeah.
little bit bigger.
Yep. That makes sense.
I definitely think there can be a case for Gisela though, just because what Gisela can do to an opposing aggro deck, just
game.
Yeah, just
Lights
game
out,
over.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to see Kevin start to deploy some threats here, unload his hand a little bit. And John pointing to his Huntmaster saying, you cast another spell, this is going to get flipped down, just so you know.
Well, I think that we probably need to cast more than one spell per turn to catch up from here.
Yes.
If I'm in Wallner's position, so.
All right, looks like we may have missed a trigger with the Huntmaster. Maybe it was supposed to be flipped down last turn. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it was supposed to be flipped down last turn because a Dreadbore and
Oh, sure.
an Angel Serenity was cast. So it looks like John may have missed that trigger. So not sure if we're able to back it up.
Doesn't appear so.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be the case. It will be flipping now though because Thragtusk and Jace were cast this turn. As we see Jace do a little mini Fact or Fiction. Detention Sphere goes to hand, lands go to the bottom. And we're not quite sure if Kevin's played a land yet, but if he hasn't, he can play a land and attempt to detention.
I think he played his 4th cavern.
He plays 4th cavern, okay. Yep, it's over there in play right now.
Wallner mulling all his options. This is I mean, the angel looping is so overwhelming.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It kind of gets into how am I going to overcome this? You know, is decking a realistic option at this point? Not quite sure. And the reason that decking is difficult is because we know that Crater of Behemoth got Terminus, so it's on the bottom down there. Yeah. So let me ask you this question. This is something that I probably bring up. I bring up a lot when I do coverage. And sometimes some would say too much. Time.
Yes.
Is this a game that Kevin thinks he can realistically win?
I mean, he must, right? He's got between Terminus and Supreme Verdict. It's not impossible for him to keep his head above the water, but I mean, if I was in Wallner's position, I probably would have packed this up a little while ago for the time issues.
Okay.
But I can understand feeling like I'm still in this game. I'm still playing, and I got enough Wraths and my own Thratos and stuff like that and Planeswalkers to maybe make a game out of it.
Because right now we look at the clock, it's about 21:35 on the clock, and this game's going to take it feels like it's going to take at least 5 more minutes for one of these players to win.
Yeah.
Or maybe, and it looks like John is going to end up winning this game just through Angel recursion, even though it's going to take a little while. So, 5, shuffling and sideboarding, 3 more minutes. Maybe it takes, a combination of those two. Game 2 doesn't start for another 10 minutes. This Bant control deck is not the kind of deck that wins in 10 minutes.
No.
So, then it's if Kevin is down a game, then he's trying to rush 10 minutes to get a draw out of the situation. Time is something that is just another angle when playing in tournament Magic.
Yeah.
As we're going to see Thragtusk attack Kevin, and we have the Huntmaster of the Fells and the Wolf Token attack Jace, the Architect of Thought.
Yeah. So he's willing to lose a Huntmaster here to clear Jace off the table.
Okay.
Oh no, we're just trading Thragtusks. Okay.
So we see some Beast Tokens come into play from Thragtusk dying. And John has all these options, the best of which are probably going to be Angel Serenity.
Seems like it generally is.
And this is the game where, like, if I'm John, and I don't really have a reason to close the game very quickly, but if I did need to close the game quickly, I would maybe start Faithless Looting, looking for the Creator of Behemoth, one of the 2 copies still left in my deck.
Although that's actually the bigger risk, right? Is if if it's third from the bottom, then if something somehow goes wrong on that attack, then you do risk getting decked.
Yeah.
I would be happy just to play the game like this, and if Wallner can keep his head above the water fighting this way, it's like, okay, that's fine. I still feel like I have inevitability here, and you don't risk something weird happening and just getting decked.
We see Restoration Angel drawn for Kevin. Yeah, I guess what John can keep doing here is he can just keep creating this board position every turn.
Yes.
Just like this massive board position where Kevin doesn't really have anything left, and then just keep saying, all right, answer it until he can't. We're going to see some mana tapped here for Kevin. Kevin's going to start deploying some threats here. Let's see
Thragtusk.
Thragtusk number 36 of the game.
He's got some Dissipates left over in his hand. I mean, I think that, unfortunately, basically everything that matters right now is Angel Serenity. You can't touch that because of Cavern.
Yeah. Let's see Farseek. Right, now search himself out a Hallowed Fountain here.
Yep.
Yeah.
As much blue mana as possible, generally speaking.
Yeah.
And not sure what our next play. How much mana do we have left over? 1, 2, 3, 4,
So we have
5,
6,
6, 7.
Okay.
So we have Angel plus Dissipate left over.
Okay. It's not terrible.
It's a turn.
Kevin is just going to kick it back. So it looks like he's going to keep up Restoration Angel on the Thragtusk, and he has an Azorius Charm in his hand to kind of make things a little bit more difficult for John.
So yeah, again, John just taking his time here because just wants to minimize his exposure to. He has so much inevitability on Wallner. Wallner's going to be able to drag the game out for some time, but you just don't want to miss something.
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of funny because even if John were to miss something, he's at 43.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any way for Kevin to punch him back for making a mistake.
Yep. So,
but I definitely agree with you. As we're going to
John
see.
not willing to throw his Huntmaster into an obvious Restoration Thragtusk attack, but he's willing to send his tokens in because they're basically free at this point. So whatever.
We're going to see Restoration Angel do its little dance with Thragtusk. Something we should all be used to by now.
So what is under the Restoration Angel, the Angel of Serenity rather?
Under the Angel of Serenity, it looks to be just a Thragtusk. I'm assuming that's a Thragtusk that's in the graveyard, not in play attacking.
Sure.
You see a bunch of stuff get traded off, some damage will be recorded, and then John will make his next move. Doesn't look like Azorius Charm was ever cast, though.
No, I think he's just leaving up Dissipate.
Okay.
That combat was like fine for Wallner. There's no reason to throw your Charm in there, right?
Yeah. John content with passing back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did have a spell for the turn, which was Restoration Angel, so there'll be no flippy pants. A little surprised John didn't cast anything that turn.
I think maybe he thought his Huntmaster was going to flip.
Okay. I mean, even at that point, is it really worth it to flip Huntmaster? I mean, he does have
seems like a pretty low impact turn. I'm not sure why. Sure, he's got something else going on there that's got to be better.
So we see an attack here from Kevin for 8. And we're going to see another Thragtusk from Kevin. And we know he has another Restoration Angel in his hand. Along with those Dissipates that you brought up, which are looking better now than I thought they would. So Centaur Healer.
Centaur Healer.
He has not impressed me.
This is not
so far.
This is not the matchup for him. Like I said,
true.
The first thing that I said when when we had Joel said on round 1 is seems like pretty low impact if this is the kind of stuff that's going on.
Yeah. So we see Azorius Charm take care of the Angel of Serenity. Thragtusk goes back to John's hand. Kevin can still represent that Dissipate. No, there should be no Beast Token there. Yeah, there we go. No. Thragtusk isn't that good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. Now, I do want to confirm at home. John does have his one cavern in play. Is that Naming Angel? We'll find out from Spotter.
I'm pretty sure that's Naming. Although this tapping is implies differently. It implies it's on Beast.
Yeah. So another Thragtusk here, bumping John up to 40. We're going to see a bunch of mana. We're going to see this is going to get dissipated immediately.
Angel of Serenity is going to need to dissipate here.
Okay, John's single cavern, he only has one cavern in his main deck, is on Beast, so Angels are able to be dissipated. We're going to see a Faithless Looting now. We're going to see an Angel Serenity and a Sever the Bloodline. Okay.
Sever's not terrible here.
Yeah, it's not the worst. I mean, it can kill 2 Thragtusk, but it would also kill John's Thragtusk as well. But it can also take care of that Restoration Angel if John sees that to be a bigger problem than it looks like.
Oh, all right, now it got a little bit juicier.
Yeah, now we see another Restoration Angel. Do the Thragtusk dance, Beast coming in, Kevin getting 5 more. Kevin is kind of turning things in his favor here right now.
If you are the owner of
it's
a
just so
Toyota with a
that
red
Sever is
canopy, we've
devastating
mentioned this
though.
a couple of times, but this is your last chance to turn off your lights before you're going to be pretty sad in about 8 hours.
So I assume we'll be trading off Thragtusks here.
Yeah, it feels like something that's probably going to happen. Yep.
Although he still has Dissipate for, Wallner still has another Dissipate ready for that Sever.
Yeah.
So maybe he's not playing around it anymore. Maybe he can bleed out Maybe he can bleed out the last theoretical counterspell with something on his turn, but
Yeah. Maybe start with flashing back on burial rights
yeah.
to get the turn started. Because he did keep the Sever Bloodline in his hand. He did not discard it to Faithless Looting. So it's a card that Kevin does not know about. So we see a Farseek. Kevin has just one card left in his hand.
And it's Dissipate.
Yep, and it is the Dissipate. So Kevin's created a better board presence for himself, and now it's John's turn to kind of catch back up. But John does have the tools to do that throughout his graveyard and his hand.
The problem is that both Angel of Serenity and Sever the Bloodline are devastating for Wallner here.
Yep.
It's hard for him to beat both.
Those lands, John draws a Temple Garden to go along with the Centaur Healer, the Sever the Bloodline. I believe he also has an Angel of Serenity in his hand as well, and a Huntmaster of the Fells. So John has all the tools. He's just going to have to sequence them correctly and not throw his overgrown tombs on the floor. Sever.
I assume we're dissipating this, right?
I think it has to be dissipated, yeah. No.
Ooh, no way.
Bit of a surprise there. I think he's just holding on that dissipate for Angel just for dear life.
I guess, but yeah.
John gonna check his graveyard. Faithless Looting. That works.
Unburial rights mulch.
Yep. Burial rights and a Malch. So we see Angel get discarded along with a Temple Garden. And now we're gonna see a Burial Rights. Targeting Angel Serenity. And Kevin says, let me see that graveyard really quick.
Alright, again, yeah, there. Can't let that Angel hit.
I like what John did that turn, though.
Yeah,
Putting
yeah,
it in the
yeah.
graveyard, not opening it up to actually being dissipated, as we're going to see. Maybe we're going to see a Malch. It is a bit of... Okay, we're going to see Lingering Souls.
Yeah, that seems better to me. Again, just protect yourself, basically.
Yeah, we don't know how many cards are left in John's deck, but Mulch is a little bit risky. 4 deeper.
Yeah.
Decking being, again, something that could happen. Kevin is now cardless, living on the top of his deck. Last time he did this, he drew Sphinx's Revelation. Okay, we see Azorius Charm. Okay, and with the team, so let me trade with that Thragtusk really quick. One of the cards that looks, and this obviously isn't really one of the better matchups for it, but Huntmaster of the Fells has looked very unimpressive.
I would have probably put my Huntmaster and Lingering Souls token in front of one of those Centaurs.
Yep.
Yep.
Just trade that off, save yourself a little bit of damage, reduce his board a little bit.
Yeah, sweetens the pot for Angel of Serenity if you ever land that thing. Like, just you're certainly gonna be fine if the game goes long. So just prevent the game from going short.
Yeah. As we see Grizzly Salvage drawn here for John.
It's like, especially if you're committed to, blocking with Thragtusk that turn. It's not like you get to attack with your Huntmaster this turn anyway.
Sure.
So
We see a Hardcast and Barrel Rights on Angel of Serenity. Why do I think that card in Kevin hands is Sphinx's Revelation again? It might be a Centaur. Might be a Centaur Healer. Yeah. So Angel's gonna clean up some noise, and John's gonna come across for 4 to knock Kevin down to 23. And we're gonna see if it's okay. It's not Sphinx's Revelation. But that one
the
is.
detention
but,
sphere.
But that one is.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
Revelation?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay.
Chase Kolonechuk to the main stage, please.
Kevin passes back. Huntmaster should have
Yeah,
flipped that
Huntmaster
turn.
should have flipped.
But yep, we missed the mandatory. Yeah, he's allowed to miss the trigger. Yeah, it is a mandatory trigger, but he is allowed to miss it. So
So can you do that with Dark Confidant now?
So the way the rule works, and I guess they're going to let him flip it. The way the rule works is this, because I had Dark Confidant on my deck at the Pro Tour, is the trigger, if you miss the mandatory trigger, the judge comes over and asks the opponent, would you like them to use their mandatory trigger?
Okay.
And the opponent can either say yes or the opponent can say no.
Sure, okay.
Now, if your intent is malicious with Dark Confidant, that's a different situation altogether.
Yeah.
But if you just accidentally miss, and then the judge will come over, ask the opponent, would you like him to use his trigger on Dark Confidant? And obviously, it's situation dependent on if the opponent would like him to or not. So.
Standard Open competitors, that is time in round 3. Active player completes your turn, then proceed to the 5 additional turns. Once again, that is time
Wallner
in
just
round
counting
3.
out his deck here to see
Judges,
how much
please
he can
find
afford the
another match.
Revelation for.
Yeah. Is Revelation going to deck me? You know, what's my plan?
So are we leaving up, what are we leaving up for here potentially?
Maybe leaving up 4 for a Restoration Angel type card?
Alright. So that looks like for 9.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So for 10 from Kevin Wallner.
Checking the graveyard again.
All right, that'll be it for Kevin's turn. Because if Kevin would have revelated more, potentially decks himself, that sort of thing, it's probably what the counting is for. It begs the question of how much does Kevin have left in his deck to really use?
Yeah, I feel like we've probably cast all of our Theritos at this point.
Now we've seen Angel Serenity pulled forward for Kevin, and then the rest of the cards in his deck, you know, they're probably lands and Farseeks and maybe some Wraths or something, but
yeah. I don't think we've seen Tamio yet.
I don't think we've seen Tamio yet either. There is an Angel Serenity left, which we're seeing cast right now, which will mop up some of these tokens. We'll mop up an Angel. Thragtusk goes back to John's hand.
Do we start deploying our Centaur healers?
We're looking for one more player for standard
but Jace will work.
box.
Yeah,
If
Jace
you'd
will
like
play.
to play in a standard rare box, please come see me up at the stage.
Jace is going to move up. And yeah, I think that, oddly enough, this decking is a realistic option for both players.
I have to assume Wallner's far deeper.
Yeah, I think the Wallner's deeper as well, just because of Sphinx Revelation, but I don't have the number of...
Yeah, although Wade's mulched and Faithless looting a bunch of times.
And there was at least one Grizzly Salvage as well. But again, inevitability has kept leading John's way, as we see a Grizzly Salvage here.
This is ambitious.
Inevitability keeps leading his way because he has 2 Craterhoof Behemoths left in his deck. But we don't find one there. And Craterhoof right now isn't exactly great. It's not a lethal attack. He needs to build a better board. He has 2 mulches in his hand. Grizzly Salvage on end of turn. He has 2 mulches in his hand that I don't think he's ever going to be able to cast. Excuse me. Hiya.
Angel Serenity. Pretty good draw. And time was calling around. What you're seeing on your screen right now is actually the clock these two have.
Yeah. So we see Sever the Bloodline looking to be flashed back here. Take care of Angel Serenity.
Yep.
Give me my Angel back. You can have your Thragtusk. I don't care. Thragtusk of my own through Cabinet Souls. It's going to range John up to 22. Could we see a
shot of the mitts?
Can we see a 0-0-0?
The rare. Neither player can cobble together a win.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
0-0-1.
you registered for standard winner box number 2, your event's ready to begin. Please come see me at the stage. If you registered for standard winner box number 2, your event's ready to begin.
I wouldn't cast that Farseek, I don't think. If that's what he's looking to do. No, okay.
So we're gonna see a Thraxos here. Yeah, can't afford to cast card. Can't afford to cast Farseek. Take another card out of his deck.
Yep.
I agree. It's too much of a risk.
This is a grind. Kevin's mana and boom.
Centaur Healer is here.
Hey guys,
What's going on? I'm a 3/3. I don't do too much.
a really good deal.
Yeah. Can you believe that they printed me?
Yeah. Wish we had a count on who was further ahead in the decking race.
Yeah, see, I'd like to get a count, but I don't want to bring.
Yeah.
We don't want to bring it to the attention of the players.
Oh, I think Wade's the one who's gonna. Oh, never mind. You said he has 2 behemoths in his deck.
Yeah.
Because I saw him when he got Terminus. He put his Thraxos, Career Hook, Behemoth, Terminus. He put the Behemoth on top, so 3rd from the bottom.
Okay.
But you said he has a second one.
Yeah,
so.
he does have a second behemoth that he can draw to. The thing is he needs to be able to establish a bigger board to make the behemoth lethal,
Yeah.
which he doesn't have enough creatures at this point to be able to do that.
Yeah, he basically needs to he's actually at a spot where he can actually how far is he away from just being able to behemoth on the same turn? Is that it? Can we do that?
That's the thing that can happen. He did draw a behemoth for his turn, as they have entered extra turns. John is on the odds, so he is turn 1 of 5. So he'll get 3 chances, and Kevin will get 2. So we're gonna see there's Centaur Healer, everybody's friend.
Yep, it's powerful.
And keep in mind, I'm almost positive as we're gonna put Craterhoof Behemoth on the screen again. It doesn't give the other guys haste. It just gives the creatures that are in play haste. Or excuse me, it gives itself
Trample
haste.
plus extra
Yeah,
plus, yeah.
but it doesn't give the new creatures haste. He has haste. He has haste himself.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, he needs to just cast enough little knuckleheads and lingering souls and all that kind of stuff, and then have the behemoth be lethal.
Correct.
Obviously, he's not under any pressure life total wise.
He's sitting pretty at 20. Nothing. I mean, the attack from Kevin would be 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 14. So he's sitting just fine on his life. And an important thing to keep in mind is that he has named Beast with Cavern of Souls.
Yeah.
So Craterhoof Behemoth is a beast. Quite the beast he is.
Literal and figurative.
Yeah, so he'll be coming across.
Can I get open players Sasha Slusker and
So he's gotta try it.
Marty Goldman first to the scorekeeper, please. Sasha
Just going for it?
Slusker, Marty Goldman first.
I think it's okay to go for it just because he has another copy in his deck. We're gonna see.
Is he gonna find it in time?
Yeah, I feel like he can. We have Jace's ability.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all this attack is going towards
You
Kevin.
don't want to take down Jace?
Yeah.
Not too important right now. But yeah, we're coming across with the troops, and Behemoth is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be +7/+7 in trample. So Thragtusk is an attack for 12. Behemoth is an attack for 12. Huntmaster is an attack for 9. Spirit tokens are an attack for 8. And then there's the -1 from Jace's. So we're going to see Craterhoof Behemoth be put back on top.
Not the best place to put it.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind having that back up there.
Yeah. Centaur Healer just can't believe that he showed up to a party where he wasn't the best thing going on.
Yeah. Yeah, how's this
What do you mean?
possible?
How's this possible?
I'm a 3-mana gain 3.
Yeah. Loxodon Hierarch was a rare, and no one batted an eye. And they made me a comment. Are you kidding me?
Let's see a Beast Jump in front here as well. So that Huntmaster right now is +7, +7, and Trample. So it is a 9/9, but it's actually an 8/9 because of Jace's ability.
Craterhoof Behemoth on top is pretty rough.
Sean Nelson, please report to your side event draft. Sean Nelson, your draft is ready for you.
And so they're going to be busy allocating trample damage here, making sure they get the damage correct between themselves and the judge at the table. And we should have life totals present for you guys after this combat step resolves.
It's like the Lingering Soul. Okay, so 9.
And then he's going to lose some stuff.
Yeah.
And then John should not lose anything because Crater's Behemoth pumps on both ends. Then we're going to move across to turn 2. Kevin's going to draw a card. It is a Glacial Fortress. Begs the question on what is hiding in his hand over there. Kevin says, "Help me, Jace." John says, "You can have Detention Sphere if you want." Inland Harbors are going to go on the bottom for Kevin's very small library. Wow.
I mean, the Behemoth just has to be lethal even if he's spheres, right? Like,
yeah. So we're going to see another Thragtusk move Kevin up to 14. Yeah, but unless there's I mean, the Tension Sphere can take care of the 2 Spirit tokens, or perhaps if it hits Centaur Healer, it takes care of his own. So it hits all Centaur Healers in play, so it should take care of Kevin's own Centaur Healer.
Draft number 5, your event's ready to begin. Please come meet your judge up the stage. If you registered for $10 draft number 5, your event's ready to begin.
I'm glad we got that cleared up there. So hitting the Spirit tokens is probably a better target, but I think it's a moot point as we're going to go to turn 3 here of extra turns for John. Behemoth on top of the deck, Cavern in play, Naming Beast. And John is going to cast a Huntmaster of the Fells just to make Behemoth.
yeah, just get 2 more guys on the
Just
table.
even a little bit more.
And here we go. All right, so there's 25, 26, 27.
Yeah, you do the math.
32, 34, 39 coming in. Okay, finally.
A marathon affair, but John Wade victorious over Kevin Wallner's Bant deck with 4-color Reanimator. Only got through 1 game, but only game 1 favors John heavily.
Yeah, it felt that way. I mean, he had Wallner in a sleeper hold for like 30 minutes. It took him a while to actually finally put him out.
Yeah, the ref finally comes over and lifts the hand.
The final time.
Yeah.
Oh.